5 News is bragging about changes that their reporting forced the state to make it more difficult for ICE to track down and arrest violent illegal aliens. Great job, King 5 News. Great use of your journalism and your platform. So this is the headline they put out. King 5 investigation leads to Washington state abruptly slashing their agreement with ICE. It says a King 5 investigation, which we talked about at the time it came out, prompted the state of Washington on Tuesday to admit they've unwittingly allowed ICE to hunt down and deport undocumented residents with the help of state data. The Washington State Department of Licensing and the Office of Governor told King 5 they've cut off the federal government's ability to search a state database filled with vehicle licensing information. The move comes after the King 5 investigators provided proof that ICE has misused state data to arrest undocumented residents. In Washington, that's against the law. The Keep Washington Working Act prohibits this kind of collaboration between state departments and ICE. The 2019 law states the federal government may not use state data to arrest and deport undocumented residents. DOL said it immediately took action and terminated ICE's account. Both DOL and Governor Bob Ferguson's office thanked King 5 for bringing it to their attention. They plan to notify legislators and community advocates of this breach of trust. Okay. Look, okay, maybe you think, okay, well, if it's against the law, King 5 News did its job or whatever it is. What King 5 News did here is basically force DOL, because there was one instance in particular they pointed to where ICE had run a search of someone's license plate and then ended up arresting that person for deportation. The problem is now they have stripped federal law enforcement agents who are operating lawfully within the state of Washington of a critical law enforcement tool. The ability to search a license plate and to put a name and a face to that license plate is a critical tool used by law enforcement agencies across the state for a variety of reasons. Let's say that you have ICE agents who are sitting outside a home and they know they've got an illegal alien in there who's wanted for child rape, which is, we've had examples of this, or who's wanted for murder or whatever it is. Now, having a vehicle outside where they can search a license plate that might tell them, is that person inside? Or, tracking a person, is this the person we're looking for? Completely useless to them. They can no longer use it because of King 5 News. So they make no differentiation between, hey, you can use the DOL database if you're trying to arrest a criminal illegal alien versus, oh, you pull up and you're outside a farm somewhere and you're just searching license plate numbers to see if there's any illegals there you can arrest. So now they treat it all the same. I mean, how asinine is that? And think of the kind of people who this will protect. Well, I always go back and look at all the ICE Seattle, the arrests that they put out, like this guy, Eric Soares Martins, a citizen of Brazil, arrested by ICE Seattle. He overstayed a tourist visa in 2017, has a criminal history that includes arrests for child rape, hit and run, harassment, and criminal trespass. So this is the guy. Let's say that this is the person they're after, and ICE is like, oh, is that his car? Well, can't search the license plate. State is now prohibiting you from doing that. They've stripped your ability. Doesn't matter the circumstance. Now you can't do it at all. So now we're protecting child rapists, murderers, criminals of all stripes. And now they're going to go to the legislature. They thanked King 5 News. They're going to notify legislators and community activists. So now, I mean, who knows what round of insane legislation they're going to push to make it nearly impossible. They say, and this undercuts all of their excuses. Remember they say, and even the city attorney in Seattle, who's supposed to be a Republican, said they're not thwarting ICE, they're just not helping. They're not cooperating. No, you are thwarting ICE. You're taking away any meaningful tools they have to be able to carry out lawful immigration efforts. In some cases, you should be thanking them to find violent criminal illegals who have hurt people, who have raped people, who have trafficked children, who have trafficked drugs, who have killed people. And you want to make it difficult because why? Literally, because why? Because of the color of their skin? I mean, we shouldn't be surprised, right? They got the liberals over in Maryland who are singing songs about Kilmar, whatever his face is, about Trump can't have him and he's an MS-13 gang member and domestic abuser. So in the name of this insane ideology, you're willing to protect anyone, and King 5 News is patting itself on the back. The governor's office thanked us. It's just crazy. And then at the same time, you look at some of these, law enforcement actions that ICE has conducted in any sane environment. In any sane environment, the Seattle Police Department, the city of Seattle, the mayor, the governor should be thanking the DEA and ICE for some of these actions they're carrying out. There was just this DEA press conference, which you'll notice, and if you're looking at the picture, there is someone notably absent from this image. I'll let you think about who it is for a second. The DEA announcement, Sinaloa cartel-connected drug distribution ring that used semi-trucks to transport huge loads disrupted with multiple arrests. So they go into this, and there was this Sinaloa cartel-affiliated drug trafficking group. This is a quote from David Reams, the special agent in charge of the DEA Seattle division. The Sinaloa cartel-affiliated drug trafficking group brought misery and death to our community. The work of DEA and our partners seized hundreds of pounds of meth and fentanyl from this group that could have yielded a staggering 6.9 million lethal doses, which of course is enough to kill everyone in the Seattle-Tacoma metro area like 3 times over. It says, according to records filed in this case, the drug ring is led by Rosario Joaquin Banuelos, 31, and his brother Francisco. The men are based in the Sinaloa area of Mexico. Throughout 2023 and 2024, law enforcement used undercover agents to uncover the tentacles of the drug ring and seize large loads of narcotics. Over those years, law enforcement was able to seize huge shipments of drugs, including 95 kilos of meth, more than 41 kilos of fentanyl powder. The investigation determined that these large shipments of drugs were being transported by a co-conspirator who's a truck driver. So they go through, and they, as part of this arrest, they did arrest some Washington state citizens who were acting as basically street-level distributors, but they also arrested multiple citizens of Mexico, including several who are living here in Washington state who had already been previously deported and came back into the country slinging deadly drugs on our streets. Anyone, and you know who's absent from that? You wouldn't know from reading this until you get to the bottom.
Oh.
This was a joint Seattle Police Department DEA investigation. Oh. Where's the Seattle Police Chief? Where's anyone with the city of Seattle? Anyone who helped with this investigation? No, we can't be tied to it because they arrested some illegals. That's exactly what happened. I got a tip that the chief declined to come. And that wouldn't surprise me. Because, we can't be seen as cooperating with the feds when it comes to Mexicans, even if they're Sinaloa drug cartel killing people on our streets. And now King 5 News is patting itself on the back because they just made investigations like this one even more difficult. Because now they talk about all these undercover operations. When they're in there, they're monitoring people, they're doing undercover drug buys. Now they can't run any plates. Not only does it make it more difficult, it makes it more dangerous. Because they don't have the full information available to them for who they're going to encounter, who they're coming up on. It is unreal to me. And this is what the King 5 investigators are spending their time doing. Instead of, just going to throw this out there, King 5 News. Maybe you do a report on all the crimes committed by illegal aliens in the state of Washington. All the people who our sanctuary laws have shielded, like the guy who killed Trooper Christopher Gadd. I don't know, maybe do both. Do this one and then talk about that. Talk about all the drug traffickers that ICE has arrested and sent out of the country who've only come back. And do the math on how many people their drugs have killed. That seems like a really good option for a King 5 investigation, but they won't do it because they are so obsessed with identitarianism and with pushing this far left narrative that, all these people are the same and there's no difference between a farm worker who's been here and hasn't committed any new crimes in 40 years and a member of the Sinaloa drug cartel who's slinging deadly drugs on our streets, or a child rapist or a sex trafficker or a guy who kills a state trooper. They're all the same. It's insane. So congratulations, King 5 News. Great job. You should be really proud of yourself. I'm sure you'll get an Emmy for that one. They actually probably will.